Yeah, I did.
Go ahead and open the public hearing for 3706 Main Street. So we'll have you guys stand up and do an overview of what you're planning, and then we can have questions and answers. Limited time.
Okay, thank you. You have the packet, I assume?
Yes, we do.
Packets for you.
Yes.
So you'll see that the proposed building is an expansion of BMC Diving. This building will encompass a number of factors in terms of how this company is going to be moving forward with new employment, with a tank inside that will provide an opportunity for our company to teach to a higher level, not only our employees, but others that may or may not come on board as employees. This tank is an integral part of what we're going to be doing. So that's one component that is unique to any structure that's here in the Range Lakes region in terms of this internal water tank. We had mentioned to the, as a sidebar on this particular aspect, we had mentioned to the fire department that we would be willing to provide a hookup on the side of the building should there be a fire or close proximity to this building in this, neighborhood, which doesn't have very many to begin with, but it would be a source of water for them as well too. That's just a sidebar. The building is also going to be used for maintenance on our vehicles, maintenance on our equipment, storage of our equipment in an inclement weather, and there will be office spacing. You'll notice in your packet, there's a catwalk up above. That is a safety component to the tank and all that goes on within the building, so that things are accessible from the second story. That's in a nutshell. It does meet all of the building requirements with a couple little provisos. We have quite a change in concrete approach to this. We're going to be oversizing this as we build it so that there'll be no concerns for weight bearing and so on and so forth. That's just another sidebar. And with that, happy to answer any questions.
Anybody back there have any questions? No questions? You can ask questions on the regular schedule meeting.
Yes.
So the maximum height is 35 feet by today's standard because this is a non-conforming lot. Voted in way back by the townspeople. So the height limit is 35 from the base of the original building. Question is, where was the original building? I don't know. Does anybody? Is it what's sitting up top now as you pull in? Is
It's a
that
brand new
the
building.
Yeah, it's a brand new building.
There was no building there before. So as we talked to the previous code enforcement officer, have not had an opportunity to talk with that person's assistant at this point, but we read it as the average. So wherever the average is, the way the code reads currently right now, we meet that.
Okay, so, but there was a building there because they made a greenery. Wherever that structure was built, that's where you have. to
Yeah, there
build.
was greenhouses, a pipe structure with that is 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah, it wasn't an actual, I wouldn't have called it.
No, it wasn't a building.
So it wasn't a structure?
No, it was more of a greenhouse.
Yeah, it was a greenhouse, a pipe greenhouse.
Because that remnants was there when we were there.
So yeah, it's 35 feet, but you're only requesting like 33.
So when they wrote this in 2001, they said 32.5 feet, which doesn't match our today's standard.
No, that's just, so yeah, it's 33.
So is that a 5-pitch truss on that? I can't see because
But we tried to shrink it, what if we shrink it to it?
That's fine.
so in a 5-pitch
Yeah,
truss,
that's
there's
fine.
16.5 feet to the center.
Looks like it's 5 or 6.
Yeah, so what's the max wall height on the front of that?
12 feet. 12 feet.
So what's the question, Lee?
The max height.
On the
So what
front
I'm
of the
saying
building
is
on Route 4
you're-
side.
you're-
22 on the front
All right,
side.
one person speak at a time.
I'm sorry, your application says that you're at 33.5. So
That's the highest point. on the
Right.
right side.
Yeah, that's pitch.
that's the pitch.
Well, that's
So,
to the feet.
I think on that front, it might be a little higher, but I think it should be done on an average anyway, so. If the front's only 20 something and the back's 30 something.
So you had made a comment about training. Not just your employees. At that moment, this becomes a change of use.
It will be just my employees.
It will be just your
Yeah,
employees.
So my comment was, let me answer the questions because I made it, okay? The comment was based upon future employees that will have to be found out if they're capable to be working. It's not a school, that's where you're
That's
going.
Yeah, it's
At
a
this
practice
point,
facility.
so it'll be just for your employees.
How big is the tent?
20 foot,
No way.
15 foot wide.
Sorry, Lee, you're not an employee, so you can't
All right, does anybody have any other questions?
I think you need to remember, though, just to clarify this, because I know this is on the record, this is not a scuba facility this is a strictly commercial hard hat diving, which is a whole different world.
Yeah, we do a lot of underwater welding, burning, that sort of thing. I'd be able to test my guys for them on a structural site.
All right, we'll close the public hearing at 6:05 and open the regular scheduled meeting.
Excuse me, I just was here to speak and I didn't know if I didn't know it was going to be closed. So I didn't have any questions for that, but I just had some comments. If I'm allowed 3 minutes to go on the record.
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes is
Yes.
all right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm Craig Sargent. I own a business called Telesis, which is a land and property development company. And I have 3797 directly across the street. I go back with the Philbricks 50 years now. And when you see how hard these boys have worked, like their parents, like Ferlin and Steve, I have great expectations for what's going to happen with that business. So in any event, I'm certain of only 2 things. Number one, the value of my property will not go down as a result of them being across the street. Number two, with all due certainty, I believe that will bring new jobs into the community of Rangeley, and they will be well-paying, good-paying jobs. And so, as I leave you now, and thank you for the 2 minutes, I wanted to say with 100% support, Telus is again the company that owns that building, and myself personally as the sole shareholder. Wish you good luck in that.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
I'll be quicker on the.
All right, we'll close the public hearing now. Open the regular scheduled meeting and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have a quorum. I don't think there's any adjustments to the agenda. One thing we need to correct is, if you can put this in your notes, their map lot is actually map 6, lot 27, not 37. Review minutes from July 27th, 2022.
Second.
Motion, the second, any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Any, well, I'm guessing there's no correspondence. New business is shoreline zoning permit application. You need to look at the application, accept it as complete, and then set up a site visit.
Is anybody here on the behalf?
I'm sorry,
Is anybody here on the behalf?
there's nobody here on the behalf.
Did have some questions, but
So do you want to?
well, it says the proposed expansion footprint is 973. Existing footprint is 934. Are they just adding 40-something square feet?
Looks like they're just adding an 8-foot set of steps on the side. They're tearing that 5-foot set of steps on the front off. And they're just putting the steps on the side and add the windows. That's what that's what I make of it.
Other than that,
So we can, I mean, we're not here to just only accept the application as complete
All right.
and then schedule a site visit. We have a motion.
I make a motion to accept the application to be complete.
A second.
1 second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, when's our next meeting? I can't see the calendar.
24th.
You guys want to schedule it at 5:30?
Yep.
I get a motion for that?
A motion to schedule at 5:30.
Have a second?
Second
Any
on 24th, right?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Moving on to continuing business, it is the conditional use permit application for 3706 Main Street. So at the last meeting, we asked for them to provide the letters from the police department and the fire department, which they did. Thank you for that. Anybody have any questions, concerns before we move forward?
My question, I don't know, you guys might already answer this. What is how far is it from the right of way on Route 4 where the 50-foot setback begins? 33 feet from the center line, is it 75? Because I know they're all different. I don't know what it is. From the right of way.
From the edge of the right of way.
Right. So I was just wondering, is that 32 feet? I think that was the number I saw. Is that from the edge of the right of way?
Correct.
And what did you determine was the edge of the right of way?
We had the Department of Transportation over there looking at the guide rail. And I got to talk with him and he told me from the center line is 33 feet.
That's what I thought it was.
Yep.
So that's 32 feet from the 33. Okay, that's the only question I had.
Yeah, and they'll have to be 20 feet from it, so.
Right.
I believe we're 50. I think we're 50 feet back.
Yeah, we moved the back line, but we're trying to.
Ready? So starting off, I will make a motion. The applicant has standing to present this application as the owner. Do I have a second? A second. Any discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous. One thing on this too, you need to change the 37 to 27. Make a motion that the planning board has authority to consider this application by the proposed use being listed in section 38.4.6 of the Rangeley Town Code. Specifically in the residential district, the code officer made this determination on July 27th, 2022. The motion was second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Moving on, in determining the proposed use impact upon the surrounding properties as required by section 38.6.3.1 of the Rangeley Town Code, the planning board shall consider the following. The size of the proposed use compared with surrounding uses. I don't feel like it's any much different. There will not be impact on scenic vista.
I think that's pretty building there would look nice.
Intensity of proposed use compared to surrounding uses. Right, the potential generation of nuisances. Any usual physical characteristics of the site.
I don't see it.
All right, so with that, I make a motion, the planning board finds the proposed project does not have significant adverse impact upon the value of quiet possession of surrounding properties greater than the usual in the zoning district. Motion, Lee second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. The next, and determining the capacity of municipal or other facilities serving the proposed use as required by section 38.6.3.2 of the Rangeley Town Code, the planning board shall consider the following. The ability of traffic movement, and as you can see with your letter from the police department, everything's fine there. Pedestrian safety. That's not going to change. Capacity of public street network. Waste disposal is not applicable. Water supply. Storm water drainage system. I do have a question on that. It has nothing to do with stormwater, but if you need to drain it, where does it get drained?
However, I have to.
It's just fresh water.
It's gonna be a freshwater tank. I got a swamp out back, or I could have to truck it.
I don't know what.
However, I have to. I don't ever plan on having to drain it.
How,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say, how often would you drink it?
I don't plan on it. I'm gonna have a filtration system in it. I'm gonna be welding it all the time, so.
Fire department capacity to serve, that was fine. Does anybody have anything in that section? No.
We're good.
So I make a motion, planning board finds the proposed project does not create a hazard based on inadequate facilities. The motion was second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. So the next section is any conditions. Do you guys foresee or feel like we need to put conditions? The only one I have, and it's only because it would be a change of use, is if you use that facility to bring in income for training outside people. So if you do decide that that's a path you want to take, you have to get.
Yep.
All right. So I make a motion based upon the preceding findings and conclusions, conditional use application for this project is hereby granted. Made the motion, was second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So this will get typed up, and then we'll get it signed. And then you guys can pick up.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, can I swing by tomorrow and sign it? No, no.
Easy.
No, it's tomorrow's fine.
I'll be by tomorrow.
Oh.
Be here to sign it, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll be by tomorrow. I gotta see is the code enforcement officer tomorrow?
I don't know.
We have to
I
get
don't
a
know what
schedule. We
the
don't have a schedule yet.
Good.
So I apologize for that. So, all right. Next meeting is going to be August 24th, site visit at,
Thank you.
site visit at 5:30, regular scheduled meeting at 6 PM.
Thank you.
Bye. I need a motion to adjourn. Need a motion, do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. So you guys can just hang out for a minute.
We signed those, yeah.
Yeah.